back to Love Your Food. This week we have a great French recipe that comes to us through Cajun cooking. This is a type of French toast called pain perdu, which is French for lost bread. And we make this using day-old or slightly stale baguette. So really, that's the kind of texture of bread that works best for this, and I'm going to show you the ingredients. So obviously we're going to have some eggs. We have some sugar. We're going to be adding some milk to that as well. There is going to be some cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg, and just a pinch of salt as well. And that's all in this bowl here. We have some vanilla extract, and this is our day-old French bread. So getting started, we're going to make our egg mixture first. So the sugar and the eggs can go in. We are going to add our spices as well. And the cinnamon tends to stick. That's not a problem. We're going to use this bowl to make sure we're not getting any shells in our eggs. So crack your eggs into the bowl before you add them to your final dish here. And we're using the whole egg for this one. So no separating or anything like that. It is going to go in whole. We're going to be beating all of this together. So once you have your 3 eggs, there you go. And in they go. So we're going to start by whipping all of this together until it's good and light. And you can use a whisk for this, but when it's this shallow, we actually find that a fork works a little bit better. So just get everything well blended in there. This is going to be a nice, rich, eggy mixture. Of course, you can change the flavor profile by changing the spices up at all. We are using cinnamon and nutmeg. You can certainly change that to whatever kind of flavor profile you prefer in your French toast. And really, you just want to make sure that there's no big clumps of anything left. The sugar is well combined with the eggs. And there we go. So we're going to see, oh, the fork actually does not fall in. That's perfect. Perfect sizing. So once we have that, we're going to add a dash of our vanilla. Now, the vanilla extract we have is actually two times strength. It's a concentrate of real vanilla extract. And then we're going to add our milk. If you have just regular vanilla extract, you're going to want to add a little bit more than that. The amounts in the ingredients are obviously going to be below, as usual, in the description. And then give it another good little whip together with your fork until everything's well combined. And this is going to be the basis of our French bread, of our pain perdu. So we want nice, big, thick slices of our bread. So good, thick slices, an inch thick at least. They can even go a little thicker than that. Now, what's going to happen is the egg mixture is going to soak all the way through this bread. We discovered for this particular loaf, after we had cooked it, that the original baking on it was a little, and you can tell just by looking at the color that it's a little anemic. It was actually a little underdone, so the crumb was quite dense. So this didn't turn out quite as perfect as it could, but it was still excellent. So we're going to start by getting all of as much of our bread into the mixture as we can. If you don't quite have enough room to get it all in on the first try, don't worry. Once everything's in the pan, you'll have room to move things around and get another round in there. And there we go. So once everything's in there, just give it a little push down. Make sure that they're all getting a good soak on the bottom. And then immediately you want to turn them over. I know that seems odd, but this really helps for the mixture to soak in from both sides. So there we go. We get them all turned over, and we're going to let that soak for 10 to 15 minutes. We really want that to completely soak into the bread, to really impregnate the bread, and it gives you that beautiful custardy inside to the pain perdu. So we're going to get our pan hot now, and high smoke point oil of your choice. We're using peanut oil. You can use canola or grapeseed or anything that doesn't have a lot of flavor. Olive oil, not a good choice for this. and a little bit of butter as well. Now, the way Chef Caleb learned this recipe from its Cajun roots, it has a lot more oil than this. Normally, when he saw it cooked, the oil would come up about halfway up the sides of the bread in the pan. We're not using that much oil. We're just using enough to cover the bottom of the pan here. So that's our mixture of peanut oil and butter. And once our butter is starting to froth a little bit, that means we should get our pain perdu into the pan. Start it cooking. So these have had a good soak in the egg mixture. They've been going, as I said, for about 10 or 15 minutes. And they are well and truly soaked through with that great egg mixture. You might want to be a little bit delicate with them. They are soaked all the way through. And we're just going to let that cook on this side for a little while and get that really nice color on there. Now, you do want to make sure as you're doing your first turn here that you're not going to leave, if you see some of them that are pale, you're not leaving them at the edge. You want to move them where it's hotter. So you can see some of these are coming out a little paler than others. You do want to try and move the ones that turned out pale to where it's hotter, so that they get a good, even chance to cook. And really that's for you to decide where it's hottest in your pan, just based on where they're coming out darker. So we're just going to move these around a little bit. And we'll get us a nice brown color on the other side. So here we go. We're starting to see a little bit of color on both sides. If you decide that they need another flip, don't be shy. You can give them another turn around just to give it a little more color, a little more browning. That nice sear is really delicious. It really adds to the flavor. These are starting to look done. These are looking great. So once you're starting to get that nice color on both sides, you've got that beautiful sear, that golden brown, it's time to start taking these out. We usually drain them on a little bit of paper towel. So we're just going to move them over here onto our cutting board with some paper towel prepared. And that's really it. We're going to cut into this one here. And you can see beautiful and soft. Nice crispy crust on the outside and that really nice sort of custardy filling in the middle. That's that egg mixture that has impregnated the bread. Not all of these turned out quite as nice as that one. Some of them were quite dense, as I said. The traditional presentation, obviously we're going to put a little bit of powdered sugar on top, and we made a little bit of a strawberry compote that we're just going to put on top here as well. And we are going to have the recipe for that one next week. And that's it. That's your whole recipe. This is a great brunch recipe. If you have a great deal of French bread that you didn't get to or has been sitting around for a while, you can even keep it in the freezer. This is a beautiful way to use it, as long as, of course, the French bread that you originally buy has been cooked all the way through. If you like this recipe, please do like and subscribe. If you have any recipes you'd like to see Chef Caleb try on the channel, please let us know in the comments below. And remember to love your food.